900. You will have before you the entity. 136. Who was born. You will give the relation of this entity in the universe, and the universal forces, giving the conditions that are as personalities latent, and exhibited, in the present life. Also the former appearances in the earth's plane, giving time, place, name, and that in that life which built or retarded the development for the entity, giving the abilities of the present entity, and that to which it may attain and how. E.c. Yes, we have those relations to the universe, and that as exhibited in the life of entity in the present earth's plane, with that relation as has been merited and made in the appearances in the earth's plane, with the abilities and the development, with the urges as are exhibited in the present earth's plane. 1. We find who took the position in the present plane from Venus, with Mercury and Jupiter's forces, Mars in the receding forces, and Saturn in benevolent position rather than adverse. In this relation then in present earth's plane, we find one given to study the characteristics of the individual, with an intent and purpose. One who has the ennobling influence of Jupiterian forces, with that of filial love. One slow to wrath, yet one who holds grudge when once aroused. Hence one who keeps the forces of wrath dominant in self when aroused. One who has much of the mental abilities to weigh the conditions of life and of the surrounding forces in earth's plane, and with the will's force may put aside much of those elements as found in the Martian conditions. In the abilities, with the mental development, with the love development, with the ennobling influence that bring monies and position to the entity, one who would be well balanced under such conditions as will arise, provided will forces are exercised in that of the mental towards holding of grudge. In the elements then himself, we find the entity given two outlines in the way and manner of the forces pertaining to old conditions. That is, the entity desires to surround self with those elements that have their greater force in association and sentiment, yet with the highest order of sentiment, with the elements of art in same, and expresses same in life, as we will see, from the conditions as merited in the development. 1. We find who is meeting those conditions in present plane through the development of others. In the appearances, then, we find. Before this the entity was in the earth during the reign of Charles I in England, and the entity then was the attendant to Henrietta, the wife of the monarch, and in that position gave much counsel, yet absorbed much of the elements of the one with whom the entity engaged. Hence the condition in the present plane of the urge of, as would be termed in slang, to get even with you yet. In the conditions then, we find the entity in the name of Mary Tudor, and in the present personality as is exhibited, that was given, with the desire and ability to make the best of situations that may arise in life. No matter under what conditions the entity has the urge, the ever-latent power, realizing the entity can meet the conditions necessary. Hence, with will used with this urge, the love development and the Jupiterian, or the ennobling forces, the entity may develop far under certain influences in present Earth's plane. In the one before this we find during the days when the Trojan forces were being attacked, the entity was in that capacity of one whom there was much made over, being in that of Helen of Troy. The entity then was in that development in the higher forces as found in physical body, development in mind, development in the law of love. In the present Earth's plane we find the abilities to bring about self those who seek to give the acknowledgement of the abilities of the entity to fascinate many. Not in the manner of the one seeking those of the nature, yet the innate ability to bring these conditions, yet never lording them over any. In the one before this we find then the chosen people started from the land wherein they had been as the ones held, or in bondage, in Chaldean forces. The entity then only came in Earth's plane for a very short time, coming at the time of the leaving of the country and going into spirit forces before reaching the holy city. Hence the entity's return, and in that of a chosen personage. In the development in this we find only a gained consciousness of the plane in which the elemental may be manifested through flesh. In the one before this we find in the Egyptian forces, when the pharaohs were in that land, and under the second shepherd king, or second pharaoh, we find the entity, in that entity then known as Issachar period, c. 341-10, par 5a, on the 6th of February 2025. And in the temple as one of the ones making music before the altars erected there for the first times. The entity then received a greater development in the earth's plane, and reached the understanding of occult and mystic forces, which remains dormant in the entity, and may be awakened through that element of the faith, as is set in the entity, in the higher being's realm manifested in the earth's plane. Then, as to the abilities and how these may be used to the best advantage, we find in the present plane needed most of all that which would give the directing force to the elements of the relation in higher spheres, obtaining through this relation the ability to understand the conditions itself as relating to that to be overcome in the body. In the relation then, we would find the building of the home the larger elements necessary for the development of the body, and the ability in same, with the acquiring of the understanding of self, to build same on a firm foundation, bringing and giving them through this builded a light unto many peoples. We are through for the present.